Fashion is all about the here and now. What's a must-have one year can look extremely dated the next. Go back on the fashion timeline for a look at some of yesterday's most memorable collections with the year in fashion. 1999 claimed the life of America's first son, John F. Kennedy Jr. Baseball also lost its sentimental hero, Joe DiMaggio. With nostalgia in the air, the bohemian look pervaded the international runways. 1999 saw Yves Saint Laurent retire from designing his ready-to-wear line. And for the new millennium, designers were pushing creativity to the max.
A lot of the best shows blend fashion and performance.
One of the best moments in London, Alexander McQueen.
What other show in the world are you going to see a print being put on a dress on the catwalks?
The best moment in Paris, Yohji Yamamoto.
The miracle, the cut, the craft, the sublime, spectacular perfection.
Best moment in Milan, Gucci by Tom Ford.
It was California meets Africa meets, you know, hippie meets Cher meets whatever, but it was really, really, really lovely and just positive and happy.
Best New York Designer of the Year, Betsey Johnson.
The American Fashion Awards presents its Timeless Talent Award to Betsey Johnson!
Best Model, Brazilian beauty Gisele Bundchen.
Gisele has a body that you've never seen before. It's kind of like drop dead gorgeous.
So here's the best from the last year of the 20th century, 1999.
Though it used to be considered the inferior cousin to European couture, American ready-to-wear holds its own like never before. Now New York is the undisputed first stop on the international fashion calendar.
Michael Kors did an amazing job. It was all American and warm and rich. It was slim key. I think it spoke to all of us.
Looking southwest for inspiration, Michael Kors proves that elegance can even be found in rural America.
Months ago, I was watching The Horse Whisperer, and the whole notion of this really sophisticated woman in Wyoming, to me, was great. It's the dichotomy that is really modern life today. This is something urbane and slick and sharp, but at the same time cozy and warm. It's about that mix today. I think, you know, opulence and something sporty at the same time. Something sleek, but something cozy. Something that's beautifully handmade with something that's very sort of high-tech. The whole mix of everything together, I think, is what makes fashion today.
He's casual and he's elegant at the same time, and, you know, very wearable for someone like me. I don't look good if I'm too fussed up.
It's all about individualism. I think that people are smart, they know what works for them. There's a lot of information at their fingertips. No one's willing to suffer anymore for fashion, and nor should you. So anyone who tells you that you should, skip it. I say forget about it.
It's attitude. I love this. You know, just woman with attitude. You know, you just simple clothes, but sexy and good style. I love this. Chic, chic, chic.
I think that the clothes are, number one, they are comfortable, but they're very chic at the same time.
Michael Kors is on such a roll, and his collection was so beautiful and luxurious and modern. I just loved it.
I really thought he did the most wonderful job he's ever done on a collection. It was thoroughly perfect.
It's what Michael does best, is American sportswear, and he brought it to life in a new way again for us.
Gisele has a body that you've never seen before. It's kind of like drop dead gorgeous.
They say that, thank you very much. I mean, that's cool, you know, that's nice, you know. I think it's nice that they changed that from like really skinny girls from like to go now from like more what a woman looks like, because I think women's supposed to have breasts, and you know, women's are like that. Women are not supposed to look like men.
You have to feel for Gisele. If there's a bra anywhere in the vicinity of a fashion show, the poor girl has to wear it, you know.
I'm just me, you know. I'm always like doing my thing.
Gisele is truly the model of the moment. With a flawless face and a body to die for, Gisele's meteoric rise signals the return of the curvaceous woman. A relative newcomer to the business, her success was almost instant.
I'm from Brazil. Is a small city in south of Brazil in the countryside. So the guys from Elite in Brazil, they found me there in the shopping center with all these girls, and they took me and they say, okay, so now you're gonna be a model. And then he put me on the contest, Elite contest, and then I did it, and then I take second place, and then and I didn't want to do it in that time. Then I went back to school. I didn't care. And just like in 1 year ago, I just say, okay, let me try. The best part, like, is my favorite thing to do is always shows, because I think it's so much fun, it's so much energy, it's always different. Like, you see the show, it's like unbelievable. It's like so nice. You have all these different energy. I think shows, yeah, I love it. It's happened quickly for me. I didn't expect that the people know me, you know, but now I see everybody's calling me. I'm like, do you know me? It's like, it's so much fun. I didn't expect that so quickly. I really like it, yeah. After modeling, well, I don't know really yet, but I want to do, like, I always dreamed to be a volleyball player, but now I can't because I don't play anymore, you know. So now maybe I'm going to psychology. I think for more like 8 years being modeling, and after just go live in whatever in the country. I'm going to go back to Brazil to live in Brazil, yeah, for sure.
What went on this season with the hippie chic is different than seasons past. It just was kind of straightforward, colorful without the acid. It was not cheap. It was very luxe. It's very rich. It's very expensive.
The whole styling element of it was impeccable. And it brings you into a new kind of hippie. This is a very sophisticated hippie, very.
From glam rock to hippie chic, Anna Sui's latest collection defines spring's diversity.
I guess it was all about escapism. I just recently reopened a store out in Los Angeles, so I was spending a lot of time in California. So that started this whole like Southern California rock thing going. Started thinking about really traditional Americana sort of things like patchwork, red, white, and blue, calico, and I just kept playing with that. And then I started feeling that I needed a holiday, so the Mexican thing and the Ibiza thing, and then Morocco came into play. Then I was totally inspired by the movie Velvet Goldmine. It was an incredible period of rock and roll history, and I think that, you know, style-wise, it's something that we haven't seen, like these dazzling clothes and glamorous boys and glamorous women.
Almost all the girls have straight hair like silk, and it's parted in the middle, kind of, you know, rock star, hippie, glam kind of thing. And Karen Elson has been made like infrared red, so that really gives it the punch and like pushes it further.
I played a lot with texture and color and really different finishings, like using a lot of lurex or iridescent threads to finish the things instead of traditional hems. There was a lot of like high-tech fabrics going on in this collection. There was nylon, there was paper, there were laser cuttings. I wanted to exaggerate the proportion, and one of the big inspirations was Claire McCardell. I'm very aware of new things that go on, but it's just, I think that the way I put it together makes people happy.
1940s designer Claire McCardell is widely considered the pioneer of American sportswear. Her work was celebrated in an exhibit at the Fashion Institute of Technology.
Claire McCardell is probably one of the most important contributors to American fashion in the 20th century. She really did work towards liberating women and essentially put together clothing that worked.
She's one of the first and foremost, at the forefront of American sportswear design. There's no question about it. And I think she liberated women in the kind of 40s and 50s. And then the idea that women had a life to live that wasn't just being at home and looking after children, or if they were, they needed to be comfortable too. So I think she invented, you know, day into night, day into evening.
We've selected a number of iconic dresses and garments which sort of epitomize Claire's styles and her signature details and elements. She really was interested in the outdoors. She loved to ski, she loved to ride, and she was a very active person. And she's used wool jersey here and these wonderful, these hooks and eyes which come out of underwear detailing. Here we have two variations on another favorite McCardellism, which is wrap and tie. The popover dress was a term that she invented where you could just, you know, if you were at home cooking and you wanted to go out quickly, you could just pop it over, tie it on, and you were ready to go pick up the kids at school. Another thing she's very famous for is the double line of top stitching a la denim. This is a little baby doll dress done in black jersey. It's another one of her very common styles. It's very loose and free-fitting, and then it gets articulated with a little spaghetti wrap sash that goes around it. These things were very inexpensive, and it meant that anyone could be stylish. People who wore these dresses wore them and wore them and wore them.
I have all these clothes. And my mother, my sister, and I wore her clothes. She made my wedding dress, which was the only one she ever made because we liked each other very much. And I almost have tears tonight because it's like my babies are here. So if you want a picture of the dress, here it is.
Louis Stahlwolf's photographs of her work were really amazing. And I think that collaboration also helped push Claire McCardell's vision. You know, the photographs had some kind of allure to them that went beyond, you know, just sportswear.
And if you look at the collections of Michael Kors, if you look at Isaac Mizrahi when he was designing, when you look at even what Marc Jacobs does, I mean, they couldn't exist without the influence of Claire McCardell.
For 3 decades, Betsey Johnson has managed to shock, entertain, and inspire the fashion world. Her endless energy and vitality were honored this year by the Council of Fashion Designers of America with an award for her timeless talent.
The American Fashion Awards presents its Timeless Talent Award to Betsey Johnson!
I had no idea. It was a total surprise, and it's great. I mean, everybody needs and loves to be rewarded and thanked and applauded and appreciated.
Always fresh and surprising, Betsey Johnson's biggest surprise this season was her decision to show in London.
Yeah, it's just so exciting. The girls, the ghosties, we've been here 4 days prepping, and it's just been lots of fun.
The whole craziness of the New York showing early and we were just like, you know what, let's just, for change and for fun, show in London.
A lot of people for years thought I was English. It's my second home love after New York.
I think she's, you know, she should show here more. I think it's very London. It's very like edgy. The atmosphere is just really sexy, really vampy, really, you know, really awesome.
We work with Ward. He's genius. He loved my little drawings. He got inspired by those.
They blew up all the different styles of hair and makeup from the book. It's very like Spanish Latino inspired, lots of blacks and reds.
I've been dying to do my full tilt petticoats for a long time. And once I pick up a petticoat, watch out! Petticoat is a whole other sexual girl feeling. I've revived. You see the pink and black stripes? That's from my first collection when I went into business in 1978. I still own this, it was a leotard originally.
I think I'm wearing like this jumpsuit, it's like this Spider Woman thing, it's excellent. You can really give it in Betsey's show, which is cool, which we like doing, don't we, Karen? Oh, yeah.
Different transparencies, different layerings, full tilt color range. The most varied a show, I think, can ever be.
She does what she wants and she looks great. She definitely looks her own amazing way.
I know it's going to be beyond my wildest, most wonderful dreams.
When it comes to new ideas, the fashion packs still flock to London, always pushing the envelope and challenging traditional thoughts about clothes. British fashion never seems to lose its edge.
I didn't want to do a runway show in London. I just wanted to do something different.
Bella Freud's alternative to a runway show was a change of medium. She enlisted the help of actor John Malkovich to show her collection in an unusual short film.
John came up with the idea. It was something that he'd read in a magazine about this man and that this actually happened to, who was obsessed with tidal waves and made himself these rubber underpants that exploded on the tube one day. I kept things very much how people seem to be happy wearing them, rather than in a show I would have kind of arranged everything to suit the kind of vision that I had in my head.
I thought it was a great way to show Bella's clothes, which are so sexy and funny and quirky and of course English, and it was great to see the kind of the famous English subway.
I think it's very quirky and charming, and says a lot about Bella's sort of sense of humor and just where she's coming from, which is that real off-the-wall London scene.
I sat through that twice, and was fascinated every time. In fact, the more I watched it, the more, kind of curious I became.
Known for setting trends and breaking rules, London fashion has models talking.
There's something different, it's like a very independent clothes.
The people are so nice, so friendly, and people's got no attitude, work-wise.
Well, I think it's pretty much everything, like the mentality and like, you know, like the city and the people is like really nice and everybody's like lovely with everybody, you know, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like a really great feeling to be here.
You know, it's a fun city. There's a lot of good energy here. There's a lot of creative people here. And I'm really, I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm here right now.
I think it's amazing that there's so many different kinds of designers.
It's great. It's great to see, you know, like other young people doing very interesting, strong stuff.
It's kind of interesting with everyone's, you know, tangents of where they're coming from. And they're really looking for something that's completely that no one has ever done before.
You know, that's what makes fashion so cool. There's all kinds.
One of fall's unchallenged highlights was London bad boy Alexander McQueen, never one to abandon the notion of fashion as entertainment. Once again, McQueen amazed the runway-weary fashion flock, transforming a London truck depot into a giant acrylic-covered snow globe. His fantasy world drew inspiration from the Stanley Kubrick film, The Shining. Without abandoning his signature touches of the bizarre, this season McQueen let his romantic side show. This new mood was most obvious in his softened color palette, ranging from the most delicate pinks to steely winter grays. His group of all-white ice skaters were nothing short of angelic. McQueen also said he was inspired by the turn-of-the-century period when traditional artisans faced off against the rise of industry. Light-handed artistic workmanship came through in elaborate embroideries, delicate cutouts, and carefully planned patchwork. His unbelievably chunky knits were also standouts. Icelandic sportswear elements like puffy parkas played against McQueen's trademark Savile Row tailoring, creating an imaginative interpretation of modern luxury. McQueen's latest decision, bound to shake up the fashion world, is his move to New York to show his upcoming spring collection.
There's a difference between being outrageous and being original.
Britain's most innovative and influential designer, Vivienne Westwood, is a true rebel. With her quirky mix of tradition and irreverent humor, Vivienne Westwood will always be known for putting the fun in fashion.
Vivienne is fearless, and she is one of the few designers in London, few women designers, who actually says, come on, sex is fun. Let's dress like we enjoy it.
Born in 1941 in the north of England, Westwood moved to London at age 17, where she was a school teacher for several years. Her design career began in the early 70s when she met Malcolm McLaren, best known as the manager of the British punk band, the Sex Pistols. Together, the two were the parents of the English punk movement, which revolved around the King's Row shop they called Sex.
I decided to help my boyfriend, who was mad about clothes, and I just began to sew for him, and eventually got him a small shop.
After her breakup with McLaren, she started to take garments apart to learn about construction and tailoring.
I didn't necessarily choose it. I did get into it by default, but having got into it, I'm kind of seeing it through.
Always the great nonconformist, Westwood doesn't sketch, but designs on miniature dress forms. Technique combined with solid knowledge of how clothes are constructed create the foundation of each collection.
My job is the manipulation of materials. I have to give expression to the body through those materials. I can't make a suit out of a pile of bricks. I could do that and say this is art, but nobody could wear it. Somebody's got to wear my things.
With the addition of the Red Label collection, Westwood extends her repertoire to include younger, more streetwise fashion. Red Label continues her tradition of celebrating the female form, and this season is no exception.
She's always thinking about the coquette and the courtesan and the woman who can actually have a good time.
Otherwise, it's very feminine. It's just really so feminine and so appealing and coquette and flirty and cheeky and all those things that I guess women like.
And so her tops are like this, her skirts are short, her heels are high. She's out there just saying, come on, life is short, why not enjoy it?
I've done her show a few times before and I like doing her shows because it's always fun, you know, the makeup's always fun and like the hair's always fun and the clothes are fun and she's a great lady too, so it's great to do a show.
You can just watch a fashion show of mine and just know how good those girls feel. You don't have to tell them what to do, you know. You just have to say, yes, you can do what you like, how you feel, and then they're happy and you don't need to tell them anything else.
Ahead of her time, Vivienne Westwood will go down in fashion history as a woman who knew what she wanted and wasn't afraid to go out and create it.
You are getting an awful lot of energy from doing that, and the thrill to go on, you know, that you can be creative like that. I do fashion because I can.
The excitement around Gucci never stops. At the sleek new Gucci boutique, designed by Tom Ford and interior architect William Sofield, Gucci diehards now have one-stop shopping.
You can run right into Gucci and you get the look. And it's like putting on makeup. It just lifts you up and out of the reality into glamour.
Glamour was just the beginning. With eclectic inspirations, designer Tom Ford delivered a collection that caused the most noise in Milan.
The show was one of the greatest pieces of choreography and timing that I have seen, and captured a spirit that took you back to a kind of hippie whose chic is astounding.
I know Tom Ford calls it a Las Vegas hippie, and it does have that slick, glamorous, it's not flower children living in the fields hippie.
It was Las Vegas, it was India, it was American Indian, it was African beading, it was a little bit of London, it was a little bit of Paris chic with little bags, it was a little bit of motorcycle, and that's really the message, was this mix of things, you know, a real mix and not just one thing.
And they're just filled with energy. It was California meets Africa meets, you know, hippie meets Cher meets whatever, but it was really, really, really lovely and just positive and happy.
There was leather fringe, there was beaded fringe. Someone just told me, fringe, it's so American, and I thought, I never thought about that. I wanted this season really to just be fun. You know, I think sometimes fashion becomes over-cerebral and we think a little bit too much about what we're putting on and what it means.
Gucci was exciting and sexy and colorful, and just the clothes you're going to want to wear. Beautiful beaded shoes, fantastic floral dresses, things you just pull on and you go out and you know you look good.
The whole styling element of it was impeccable. It brings you into a new kind of hippie. It's not the one that we have revisited in the past few years where there's a bit of abandon and a bit of not caring too much. This is very, very impeccably styled. This is very deliberate.
I wanted to bring some life back to this collection and, you know, make it fun, make it really something that people wanted to wear.
Leather was the leader of the pack. A perennial fall favorite, this season leather showed up from head to toe like never before.
The technology in creating lightweight leathers has opened up a whole new category of dressing, so it's something you can wear on a daily basis next to your body and not just outerwear.
And this time, a ride on the Pony Skin Express meant a trip through feminine territory.
Pony and leather as well is very sharp and very sexy cuts.
The Fendi pony skin was unusual. Karl Lagerfeld stepped out and colored it in a beautiful spring palette, in what we would traditionally consider a spring palette, and it was so fresh and so beautiful.
It's just Karl Lagerfeld is his best. A fusion of so many elements.
In a futuristic setting, Karl Lagerfeld's eclectic collection for Fendi captured the season's best: bohemian styling, luxurious furs, and progressive color.
I think there is fresh spring colors for winter. Right, but not aggressive.
This time the contrast in colors also are very important, and contrast of materials and different leathers together.
A lot of great color, pinks and oranges, and it was really good how he mixed everything up.
Having viewed fur as a fabric, Lagerfeld masterfully rendered pelts into the unexpected. Sheared mink, dyed pony, and astrakhan made their way into the sports-inspired tops, jeans, and pedal-thin skirts.
What Karl Lagerfeld and the Fendi house did with fur was incredible. In the lightest of weights, in every single shape and color.
What you see here is Fendi's technique at its highest, with the most modern sensibility, color, workmanship, craftsmanship.
Knitwear also benefited from the house of Fendi's technical know-how. Web-like gauze was intricately woven for bordered treatments, and microcrystals cast light from woven skirts and feminine tops.
They are frozen on it, they are specially treated, and then it's glued into it, and some of them are woven with it. It's a very complicated thing because it has to last. The secret of the Fendi workrooms, huh? That I can lecture you for 3 hours if you want. The fabrics are important because there are so many new fabrics now that the fabrics in a way are even more important than the shapes, because it's really something what makes fashion change, that is the simplicity of the new materials and the shine, the touch, the mix and all that. That's very important. Huh?
Karl Lagerfeld is a person who is unique in visualizing, expressing a narrative of the elegance and sophistication, and at the same time relaxing it and letting it become modern.
Considered the maestro of the dramatic, Gianfranco Ferré celebrated his 20th year in fashion this season. For 7 years, the undeniably Italian Ferré was also at the helm of the quintessential French couture house of Christian Dior, while producing his own line. Ferré continues to change the face of fashion.
It has been a great experience. I love adventure, and it has been an adventure. I tried on those 20 years to sign something that could be modern, could have a sense of quality, a sense of construction.
He really produces epic creations, which really makes a woman look very beautiful.
Something that always gave to the body the sense of beauty.
His clothes were a drama, its operatic sophistication.
Creating for a woman, it makes more sense, the fantasy.
Gianfranco is from the more is more, and somehow he makes it work.
In his new $20 million palazzo, Ferré used his more is more approach by throwing a spectacular party to commemorate his 20th anniversary. With vignettes of past designs, it is clear to see why Ferré is one of this generation's most distinguished designers.
Ferré is a great, great master. He's a wonderful man. He's heroic and majestic and monumental.
Enormous contribution. I love Mr. Ferré. I think you have an enormous talent. He's someone very important in this business.
I think what Gianfranco Ferré specialises in is just beautiful clothes. He was an architect before he was a fashion designer, and I think that shows in the sort of clothes that he produces.
Even in GFA, his younger line, one can see the master's architectural hand at work.
This is a younger collection, more flexible, more collection made with simple pieces that you can put up together. There are pieces that can go from one wardrobe to the other one with no problem. It's a younger collection that anyway has the certain signature of the past of Ferré without forgetting the future.
Always the dramatic showman, Ferré's main collection for spring was standard Ferré fare, a powerful mix of precision suiting and bold silhouettes in leather and silk.
It's a collection for a woman of the future that for me it has to be in one side romantic, in the other one modern, but without losing the femininity. She has a freedom to afford any length she wants. She wants to be tender in one side, but strong in the other one. There are pieces that you have never to forget. There are pieces that you have to live with year after year, and that's great. The high point is to find out the way to design, I call them objects, you can call them outfits, pieces that belong to our generation.
His clothes, you can see the architect's hand in his clothes. His suits are favorites of women who own them because of the construction of them. He loves detail and uses it really to the highest effect.
My signature, I think it's a kind of refinement, high quality, a sense of drama sometimes, but with a simple design.
Yohji Yamamoto has never failed to evoke passion and admiration in his audience. His collections are full of wit, intelligence, and always reflect the mood of the moment. This season, he used the sacred theme of a wedding ritual to illustrate the spirit of life.
Wedding dress is located just in between real life and dream. It's not sometimes dress, clothing. It can be costume. By using the way of stripping teeth, I wanted to prove that this is a costume. Simply, I get a little bit bored with daylight fashion. I wanted to find some special moments, special situation.
These are intricate works of art, craftsmanship, cut, intelligence about the shoulders, intelligence about slim lines, long skirts, intelligence about big skirts, intelligence about romance. This was about joy.
This time I used several fabrics like linen, silk, synthetics, but I wanted to make the touch of cotton on every material.
It's extraordinary that he takes couture concepts and make them romantic, young, and ready to wear.
I'm just enraptured. The elegance, the humor, the wonder, the miracle, the cut, the craft, the sublime, spectacular perfection. And then there was Andre.
World's fashion persona, Andre Leon Talley, had a runway debut at the show.
He is so sensuous, so shy, and elegant.
I felt very honored, and it was a great, great moment in my life to begin my catwalk runway debut with Yohji Yamamoto and this most poetic evocation of the most important moment in a person's life is a wedding.
Parallel to his signature collection, Yohji Yamamoto is keeping his very first line wise, modern, and true to the fashion current.
I started my career as a fashion designer under the name of Wise, and this is for real life. This is for basic, simple, real life. Since I started this line, almost 20 years have passed. So I have to think about the reality of this modern age. Yohji Yamamoto line, especially making collection, is always some trials, some invention or testing something. But Wise is my very honest affinity about clothing.
Yves Saint Laurent is undoubtedly one of the most influential designers of our time, the man who forever changed the way women dress. His legacy, pantsuits, blazers, and tuxedos, borrowed from the traditional men's wardrobe with an undeniable feminine chic that women embrace. For over 4 decades, Yves Saint Laurent has intuitively understood what women desire and how they want to dress. His is an empire built on the cachet of haute couture dresses. Through the 60s and 70s, his name was linked with controversial concepts, such as a see-through blouse, women in pantsuits, and ethnic looks. But where does Saint Laurent's inspiration come from?
Un mannequin,
a model,
le corps humain,
the human body,
les peintres, évidemment,
artists and painters, obviously,
peut-être la nature aussi.
Perhaps nature. Also, perhaps a magazine, it doesn't matter which one, or a personality I meet.
Ou une personnalité que je rencontre.
In 1965, Yves paid tribute to artist Piet Mondrian. In 1979, he created an homage to Picasso, and in 1988, an homage to Cubism. African art, beatnik culture, and androgynous dressing have also proved inspirational for Saint Laurent.
When I work, I don't look to change. I let my imagination go. It's more fiery than me.
Fougueuse que moi.
This season, Yves Saint Laurent presented his last Rive Gauche collection before turning over the reins to Albert Elbaz. Saint Laurent will continue with the haute couture collections. With typical Saint Laurent elegance, the collection offers gentle glimpses of femininity in a history of Saint Laurent motifs, a symphony of colors. Pantsuits, leathers, smoking jackets, sheer blouses, and a startling sexiness, which is Saint Laurent's tribute to women.
The gypsy look, I think that the kingpin of it really was a very beautiful little sexy blouse that you started to see, which had a drawstring neckline that was that little peasant blouse that we associate with gypsy. There were full skirts, tiered skirts, there was fringe, so it was very, very beautifully rendered and definitely inspired by a gypsy.
As the 20th century comes to a close, Valentino looks towards the approaching millennium with new enthusiasm, refining his latest spring collection with new takes on familiar Valentino themes.
Glamour, sexy, gypsy, beautiful, gorgeous.
Really, I wanted to express myself in this collection, and it's one of the last summer collection of this millennium, to give beauty to the eyes of the audience, to give the opportunity to see girl, very, very beautiful, very feminine, with a new line, of course, because the skirt, they are much longer, the sandal, they are very flat, but they look very young, they look normal, they look like normal girl, just arriving from a resort place, all suntan, beautiful hair, shoulders out, and it's quite sexy. I did my gypsy look that I made many, many years ago. And this, I think, is the new look and the new expression, Valentino expression for the 1999. Accessories have lots of belts, jewelry belts, sandals, embroidery sandals, few bracelets and beautiful necklace. Then I put under my ponchos. Coral is another color that I took back from my past collection because, you know, I was a little tired. I did with great joy the last few years all the known color, and this color I think gives lots of beauty. And the girl with coral and this beige with those blouses, they look extremely feminine, extremely glamorous. Now this millennium is finished, start another one, and we have to look at the future with great guts, great opportunity to see everybody happy and to see everybody with great joy to live and to see beauty around us all the time.